basically turning into the Red Bull Korean qualifiers, because these guys are so damn dominant. Oh my god, they're absolutely clearing the hell out of the bracket. Let me double check right now just to see kind of where we're at, and of course, okay, there we go, round of 32, so it is. Had to double check myself just a little bit. You know, you never know. You never know. Sometimes, you know, you get a little bit ahead of yourself. So, welcome in, guys, to the round of 32. It is time for AxAlicia versus NRSNightEnD. So, starting over here on King Sejong Station, over at the top left side of the map, we do have AxAlicia. Now, where's your Axiom logo? Let me see you. Nah, it's okay. Alicia, of course, a very dominant player from basically ever since back in the day, man. Kind of, again, former player that might have had some nerve issues, whatnot, but right now, you know, it's one of those players you can't ignore. You have to be very careful and cautious about. We're going to be kicking this PvP off over here at the bottom right side of the map, of course, versus NightEnD. As you can see, that beautiful NRS logo right there. Former player of Fnatic, if I'm not mistaken. NightEnD, of course, another one of those European top players. You know, when I think of it, I'm like, there's a lot of just top Protoss players in the European scene right now. You have like Harsum, you have NightEnD, you have Starnan, you have Elfie. Man, I'm trying to think right now. Even I guess you could consider, I mean, with the recent results, you could consider somebody even like Todd, man. Some are right up there as well. So. Hopefully, we're going to see a good PvP between these guys. This is a very large two-player map, of course. Alicia, of course, opening up with the double gas. One on gas. Actually, 3 total on gas right now. So, getting that Cyber Core out, probably, there we go. We'll begin saturating it. And now a total of 5 on gas. Very interesting. Actually, 6 on gas. Okay. So, we're going to pay attention very closely to Alicia and see what he plans to do, because with 3 on gas, I mean, we could see anywhere from potential Blink to DTs to Stargate. You know, just, you know, you really go, if you go for a heavy playstyle, then you got to be very cautious how you play and deal with it. So, NightEnD, meanwhile, going to be basically, for the most part, mirroring the same thing as we see right now. Again, don't want to try to distract you guys too far away from the game. Looking at both players right now, NightEnd's run includes beating Spectorius. I'm not sure, that looks like a flag almost from Lithuania? Might have been a Lithuanian flag. I'll have to double check that again. His round of 64 was a win over Jim. Everybody knows who Jim is, Chinese player. And we look over on Alicia's side of things. Of course, round of 128 beat Pink from Switzerland, and of course, round of 64 actually was able to beat Hack. Man, that's a big win right there. If you're playing Hack in the round of 64, you know this is a pretty damn stacked tournament. Like, or either the brackets are really bad, or you're playing somebody pretty damn good. But I mean, you take a look at across the board when you've got guys, you have like Hendrils versus Czech, you have Hack versus Alicia, Tesla versus Pig, Jim versus NightEnD. I mean, the list goes on, but. It's going to be interesting to see by the time we get to round of 32 actually how many foreigners go through. I think last time we checked we only named 4. 4 foreigners. That is not a heavy number to have. That means the other 28 potentially could be Korean players, so you got to be very careful. As we do see on NightEnd's side, he's going to be the player that's going to be going for Blink, adding those additional 2 gates. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do have some Stargate action coming out from Alicia, and of course also adding a couple gates himself. Interesting thing about this type of playstyle, especially if NightEnD misses this, Oracle come out. We'll see how close it is. Oh, he does spot it. He does spot it. So, no Stargate right now inside the main base. This Mothership Core is actually going to have a few free pickings right now, as we see. Might be able to get probably 3 to 4 workers. 1, 2. Harasses down another one. Of course, there's a lot of time also for this Mothership Core to recall, and indeed it does. Meanwhile, back at home, defenses are getting ready and in position. We do have 1 Stalker, but we might not have the other Stalkers out in time. But wait, hold on just a second. Just a minute. 2, 3. 3 workers. Alright. Almost nearly even trade. Again, not the most cost-efficient one of all, just due to the fact that, well, you went into Stargate and you built an Oracle. But you did save the Oracle, which is really nice and efficient. On the other side of Alicia, he's already getting prepared for the Blink Stalker, or attempting to get ready for the Blink Stalkers, getting a Robo down. He will need some very sufficient defense. There's already a probe on the other side of the map. We'll see if Alicia try to maybe hunt down that pylon. It kind of is a scary moment. You might not want to hunt down that pylon because if those Blink Stalkers do come out and coming across the map, you don't want to get caught out of position. It's very tough to catch those Blink Stalkers when you don't have it yourself. But due to the Oracle, we do see NightEnD being very cautious about how he progresses through this game. Doesn't want to, you know, go completely all in or get too risky, because he sends those stalkers across the map, and you know that Oracle just flies back in and takes out and wipes out all the workers. Now the thing right now, he might want to wait for Oh, you're actually going to be able to get the Oracle, or should be able to get the Oracle. Yep, gets the Oracle. Now he's going to send those 3 stalkers across the map. Meanwhile, over here, under the natural, we already have some harassment. First Immortal coming down for Alicia. I think NightEnD actually probably has this game. Just needs to get a good blink on top of the high ground for the most part. Force Field does come down, not able to budge his way up top. This will buy a little bit of time for this Immortal to come out, but NightEnD really could do anything he possibly wants. Kind of the world is a bit of his oyster. He should probably expand himself, I want to say. But you could also see he's being very cautious as he progresses on ahead. He does have the robotic space, so of course if he wanted to have observers of his own. Now, the one thing that might be a little bit scary about trying to take an expansion he doesn't know about exactly. I was about to say, this pylon down here at the bottom side of the map, we do have a warp in, a little bit of a zealot run by coming through, and if there was a base over here at the natural, and which there is, he's going to force the cancel off of it, of course, if Alicia notices it. If he goes up into the high ground, there will be a photon overcharge to greet him. Honestly, wouldn't have been the worst thing if NightEnD actually caught him inside the main base. But NightEnD, he is going to start heading on within the main base. Photon Overcharge is activated. The first Immortal is already out, so a little bit of a tricky scenario, especially with Guardian Shield and Photon Overcharge and 2 Immortals. You really don't want to dance around too long with these amount of units. And man, just when I said, you know, I mean, I kind of feel bad, I kind of don't feel bad, like when I said like NightEnD should have this game, and just the fortunate of luck, wasn't able to get to the high ground soon in time, allowed Alicia to get his Immortals out, gathered enough energy for the Photon Overcharge. NightEnD, meanwhile, he is going to at least grab his own expansion. His plan right now is just to delay his opponent as long as he possibly can, but really, how long can he? With that amount of Stalkers and 3 Immortals, you don't want to fight that just with Stalkers versus Immortals, let alone having some Sentry and some Stalker support along the way. Mortal production back at home for NightEnD right now. This game could actually could turn very interesting. I really thought that NightEnD had it, but at this point we could almost say that it's practically evened up, 64 to 59 supply, not big of a difference. I mean, it's just Blink Stalkers now. If I was in NightEnd's position, 1, good, he's actually searching for this pylon, we'll find it. 2, consider playing a little bit like Hero, consider playing a little bit like Parting, consider playing a little bit like MC right now. Some of these guys that are not too worried about maybe being a little bit extra harass-oriented, you know, the Mothership Corps, of course, they might have Photon Overcharge and whatnot, but the thing is, send a 4 or 5 pack of Blink Stalkers within the main base right now. Get some detection, use that hallucinated Phoenix, snipe some workers down, blink on out, blink on out, blink on in, blink on out, distract your opponent, don't let your opponent sit comfortably just on 2 base producing, just start taking away and picking off at his numbers. It's one of those things that I would love to see more Protoss do, especially when they're in this type of scenario, especially NightEnd's. Again, there's a little bit of a worry that, you know, if he does press on through, it could be a little bit tough for him to hold, but again, Sentry, as long as they don't have Archons, as long as they don't have Colossus, there's no way to break the Force Field, so Force Field should be sufficient enough at least to hold off your opponent for a long enough time. So there is a hallucinated Colossus coming on up. He activates Photon Overcharge. We'll see how well this is going to work out. He's just trying to work his way and decides to recall. Oh! Almost a snipe coming out from NightEnD. Good hop on top of that. So look, it's funny because the hallucinated Colossus actually baited no force fields out of Alicia. I mean, I'm sorry, out of NightEnD. Really, it's kind of interesting to see if Mothership Corps threw down the Time Warp, but not much more than that. Now this is going to be a little bit interesting. NightEnD deciding to go on the aggressive. I'm not sure if this is the right decision to go on the offensive right now. This is, in terms of a numbers game, if just a few more Zealots or a few more Stalkers get warped in, the 6 Immortals are going to be very tough to deal with. Alicia right now in the worker count lead. The one saving grace, and that's going to be really nice, especially once We have the, you just take a look and see, I'm sorry, I'm kind of sputtering a little bit here, just trying to find words for this, but 6 Immortals, man. 6 Immortals. You can't risk going up on high ground against 6 Immortals, I'm sorry. I mean, Guardian Shield gets popped, you get a few more support units getting warped and under. I really don't care how many Blink Stalkers you got over here, they're going to get absolutely demolished. Meanwhile, back over here on the right side of the map, bottom right side of the map, Alicia putting down a forward pylon. Remember, the rocks are broken through, so there is a pathway if NightEnD doesn't find about this pylon over here. Ugh. +2 upgrade underway for Alicia right now for attack, adding on some additional gates. I mean, with these additional gates, he's got already the Templar Archive, so he's got Archons. This is a very tough composition to deal with. If I was in NightEnd's position, you might have a slight supply lead, but man, it's not really significant in terms of unit value. Blink Stalkers are only going to buy you so much. Blink Stalkers are only going to buy you so much time, and you can see he's trying to get that robotics bay finished up, getting another Immortal. Already, we see a Colossus underway, getting his +1 upgrades just about done as well. This is tough. There's a lot of Immortals right now out on the map. Drops the Force Field, forces the Blink back. Now, just due to the choke over here on the bottom, or I guess the right side of this natural expansion, you got to be very careful how you walk up. We do see some hallucinated Immortals getting put into position. We watch as Alicia trying to work his way up, throwing down the Time Warp. 1 Immortal goes down, 2nd Time Warp goes down, I'm sorry, 2nd Immortal, 3rd Immortal goes down. Because of the Immortals in the back, he's starting to wipe away at all of these units pretty damn quickly. The Archon's soaking up a lot of damage as well as some of those charge lots. I think Alicia's got this game. 89 to 55, this is pretty in the books. And there we go, GG.